back to building. I have an idea, so now I really want to build it, and I really want to, another idea, I know the meal plan idea is there too, but I'm sick of Upwork taking money every time I want to try to get a job or freelance work, or I want to then keep working with that person. So I want to make an alternative. I was going to call it Downwork, but I think I'm just going to call it UsWork.ai. And basically, it will be like $1 a month we can all use, and it will allow us to people to post jobs, but also it will allow us to connect to APIs and webhooks and stuff so we can automate the process of keeping an eye on jobs. So it's a fun product idea. It has a scalability to it. I'll show you where it's $6 a month, but as more people join, it goes down. So it's a kind of a nice community project. And if it works out, we can all be like maybe posting jobs or help we want, or other people who wanted us to do a gig. And then freelancers like myself can go there and keep an eye out for things, or have it push data to my services so I can have AI monitor it and keep an eye out for things. And who knows, maybe it's an agentic hire process. Now, I'm using Lovable and Supabase, and so part of this would be like me just trying to use those things to build this website where you sign up, you subscribe, and then you start posting jobs, showing your proposal, and then the person says, yeah, I want your work. And then eventually we'll have, hey, this person did a good job, so we have a rating or feedback system so we can keep growing and building as a community of trust in accountability, whatever. So we hopefully create a good ecosystem for posting for jobs and automating and doing jobs and whatever, and learn how to use Lovable and Supabase to build something that's production ready, which I don't get all the way. I get stuck. I have some impressive moments, and then at the end I just get stuck. And I'm going to come back to it because I really want to build this and keep going at it. I might do some of that on the side and then come back to you and show you how I got around some blockers. Simple stuff. I don't want to pull over Cursor. I don't want to pull up Windsurf. I want to see if I could do it here because it's so simple overall. But then we want more automations and stuff, or maybe we'll pull in N8N or Active Pieces or Langflow and start pulling that in. All right, again, I get stuck, but there are some cool moments, and then hopefully the idea will capture your interest and we keep going forward from here. All right, thank you. Okay, so we're building something finally. I got the approach, but we're going to do something, that I want to build. And that's what's the thing with me, is I don't like just doing videos sometimes just to do videos. I want to do things that I want to do. Now, I get really frustrated with Upwork, and I've been thinking, why does Upwork exist? Why are they there? Why do we keep using them? They take our money. They continue to lock us into contracts. Like, there's nothing for us, and it gets worse and worse. You can't even apply for a gig on Upwork without paying, and then you pay for these points. So listen, I want to make a thing called UsWork, and basically we're going to own it. And the way this is going to work, I talk about it down here, is that as more and more people join, the fees will go down. So it starts at like almost $6 a month, but then as we get a certain level, it's going to be under $1 a month. And as a company, as a startup, as whatever you want to call it, another idea, I'm going to just aim for 200,000. I'll consider infrastructure and salary and see how that levels out. But basically, it's not a ton of members to get there. And if we do it, then what we have is a platform that will allow us to have us as developers and freelancers, and maybe any type of freelancer, and then people as who want gigs or want something done and aren't comfortable using AI to do it themselves yet. They can post those jobs. So it's really important here is no contracts, nothing. And we're going to make it so that you can push data out anywhere you want or reach in. There's nothing hard about getting automations. And to just be ahead of the game, like soon we're going to be potentially selling our automations, selling our agents and things like that. So how do we stay ahead of this so that the site facilitates that? And just whatever, you find a gig, you like the person, you work with them, you never see us again, I don't care. And on that note, we're not going to have places for chat, places for this, places for that. It's just going to be post a gig. People will submit their proposals. Then when the person likes them, they just email them or whatever. It's not going to be locked down. And then we'll have a feedback mechanism so that if you have a good experience with someone, you give them that vote, because that's what's kind of happening. We're going to have to figure out how to drive this so A, people aren't just spamming jobs and taking jobs and low bidding jobs and crappy, and B, that we grow and have this feedback cycle. So again, there might be other things out there like this, but whatever. I just want to build something and I want to put something out there, and let's see what happens. So I'm going to go through building the actual product, but if you want to come here and sign up, and great, and you can get in as soon as it's ready, which might be today. So we're going to use Lovable. We're going to start off with a prompt. I had ChatGPT build a prompt for me because I've been working within it for all the marketing. And then we're gonna just gonna keep it simple. I guarantee Lovable, Supabase, and we'll keep building from there. And when we need complexity or automations, we'll start leaning on N8N or active pieces or lane flow. Like we'll find that back end solution. And let's see, so I have a list of things I'm gonna aim for. It's down here. And so we want to start the application Lovable, add Supabase auth, connect Stripe, post a job, reply to job, and then we start building in the hooks and stuff so you can go to the site and search, but also have hooks. We'll have AI helping with as much as we can to tag things and help organize things and maybe help you find things. Sending daily emails and stuff. I do that right now and it works out well, so we'll bring that feature into here. And then, yeah, let's just keep going at it, or let's start. All right, so I'm gonna go grab the prompt and let me see if this can kick off Lovable. And I don't mind this style, so I'm gonna just also give it a screenshot. And I gotta get rid of that Lovable thing. And again, UsWork.ai. Okay, so we're gonna make it private just because I want to. And we're gonna have security as part of this too. Later on, we'll build an app that probes this site for security issues, and we'll cover that later. So I'm gonna make this prompt here. I'm gonna paste an image here, and let's kick it off. While it kicks off, again, I already set up Supabase. I'll connect that in a moment, and we'll hit for Stripe. I'm going to set up Stripe right now. Okay, I'm just letting this build because it's boring, and read my prompts beforehand because I gave it too much of a weird prompt from the marketing side of things, so it just built me a marketing site. So now it's connected to Supabase. I just click Supabase and chose my Supabase from the list. It's really that easy. But now it's trying to do things here. Let me just make sure. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm gonna just say apply. Sometimes I can throw it off, and hopefully I'm not. I want it to do its normal Supabase thing for authentication. So I just read it because one time I prompted it and messed it up where I know it can do this stuff. So one note about Lovable is that I use Windsurf for some things, but right now Lovable and it's a very opinionated moment. Like, when you go to Lovable, they're going to code it potentially a certain way. They're going to build you a certain thing, and they're not trying to build everything. And maybe you can build different things in Lovable, but what I'm saying is like they seem to have some good rails and defaults for moving along, guardrails. And so by using them to start with the website part of it and the application part of it, I can get going a little quicker than what I feel I get out of Windsurf and Cursor. Now, all this stuff keeps changing and we all have our different preferences for tools. It's relative, but I do think you get a little bit more out of this quickly. All right. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna go to here, and then in here we just say allow new users to sign up, allow manual link and anonymous sign-ups. This one's good for a project I'm about to work on too, where the customer wants anonymous sign-ins, which is an interesting feature. I'm gonna click on this and I'm gonna say don't confirm. And then we click save. That's what it was asking me to do. I don't know why it doesn't just save it. And then I'm going to go back here and sign in. So I'm going to sign in, but I don't exist yet. So I'll sign up and then I'll say, okay. So dashboard, we're in, sign up, sign out. Beautiful. I know you can get some of this out of certain frameworks, but you wrestle with those too. So none of the stuff is perfect. So here we are, we got our registration. Now, perfect. I'm gonna take over the GitHub because I want to start tracking this and moving with it. And so here's on my GitHub, it's private. And we can verify that. And there we go, private. And then we go back and I want to say, great. So now I want to get the Stripe part of it and I'll set it to test mode. And which is interesting, because how do you go to production with Lovable? And that will be the moment here I gotta finally do it. And I have some ideas. I just haven't tried them for real yet. But we're gonna be working on something, and when it goes live, I don't wanna break it. And I wanna keep in Lovable. So we got that and that. We already did that. We'll start marking these as done somehow. Add API keys. Okay, Stripe integration, get access. So this is amazing. Stripe secret, Stripe price ID. All right, I'm going to pause for a moment because this is just Stripe stuff and you can walk through it with any of these things. Okay, that took me a bit, but I'm back. And I just found the key and I made a product in Stripe test mode, which hopefully doesn't mess me up later, but I just put it in test mode. And then I went to products. The key was in developers, but the product catalog, hopefully I made the right one, is just here. And we'll see if this works. And I got the product ID from there. And again, Lovable seems to have a nice pattern for this, so let's see if it works. And I will be my first customer. Wait, it's test mode, so it won't matter. Okay, so let's try it. We're gonna subscribe. Oh, I think I saw something where this doesn't always work in here, but I might be wrong. But I'm gonna go out here and do it. So I'm gonna log back in. I usually do not remember my passwords. So then we're gonna go subscribe. Function failure, non-2200 status code. Wonder if it's, let's just give it off to back to Lovable. This is great though if it works. Error. Lots of waiting these days, but then I do 10 other things, which cannot always be that good. Alright, I see the error, shows the edge function 200, look in the console. It's me. Let me pause. Okay, I found the right price ID. And this is all testing as far as this information goes, so I'll change it after. It's really nice how they do that. Oh, they even do it, this one they didn't do that way. So, Stripe price ID secret, and then I'll add that, and then what's gonna happen is they will replace the other one there. So I'm gonna go click save, and replaces that one down there. Pretty nice. Done. Now I'll just go try it again. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, subscribe. Nice. I used to pay for services and they always were lacking a little something, so I'm hoping this one will come together better. Let's see, I'm going to use a card, and then Stripe has a fake card. It's all of this, and then let's go back to here, and it's that. And then anything in the future. 2, 3, and we can say Alfred Nutile, temporary logo, done. There we go, sweet. All right, so we're in, we have our Stripe, and we're looking good. It could check that off, that's neat. Okay, the next one, this is the typical flow where we have now a place to add job postings. Whatever makes a job posting, I'll ask it. But I don't want to make the forms too complicated. I want AI to start taking our unstructured data and making it structured. Let's see, let's find a balance. Let's see what it can do. I'm trying to keep things simple. I'm trying to stay out of the way and take advantage of it. It's pretty much sometimes awesome stuff it does. Okay. And it's going to be maybe just Markdown for now as we try to just work at this slowly and keep it simple. And then, of course, there'll be a page where people can see all the job postings that are not in draft mode but available. And that's about it for now. A place to add these. Any user can add them. As long as they're registered and paid, they can add a job posting. And only people who made that posting can edit or delete it or change the status. As far as tagging goes, we can have a field for that, but later on I really want to make it so the AI can fill in the tags, but whatever you think is best there. I should probably end every sentence off with that. All right, I'll help you input the posting functionality, job post, job status draft, job postings. Create the user ID. Yeah, job postings are row level security. Looks good. Let me see something, one moment. Just on a side note, I really like what Lovable's done here where I can add domains. It's using this entry system to integrate with domain providers to set this up. Hover and Cloudflare both worked for me, which is pretty nice. Just a nice touch. And what I wanted to show you was this. How's that bright? Sorry. But just some thoughts on Supabase security, some things to think about as you start using it. But yeah, that's there. Supabase.DailyAI.Studio. Let's go back. I should turn that into dark mode. How are we doing here? Create the name description. Okay. Stuff can take a while. It's all relative. I just go back to here. So, and I bounced into this new page because I've seen things where Stripe doesn't work inside of here, but that might be done by now. It might have just been an old thing. All right. Let's see. All right, let's see. Job postings. Post a job. I want to be able to take screenshots of my notes that I handwrite and turn them into working notes with a task list and other features. Maybe we'll have AI say that's not clear enough. And let me save some things in my Evernote, which is not anything I would ever recommend using. I have to find a new note taker. I do not want to use Notion. I just don't want to pay all that money for notes. And it always seems a little bit too complicated. Maybe I should try it again. Save as a draft. That's interesting. Okay, cool. Okay, let's go see. So I'm going to reload. I don't think that's going to help, but this is fine. We want row level security errors because we want to work through them. We want to make it work. We don't want to skip out on row level security. That's typically where a particular row has a user ID, and that user ID references your user you're authenticated as, and that kind of relationship allows that row to be protected based on that. If that row has your user ID, maybe only you can edit and delete it, but others can see it, right? So it's a really important thing that is taken care of for you. But after this, we'll do a whole security build where we're just going to hit this thing with a security agent to just make sure the site's safe for us. So let's see if it did it. It might have fixed it. And I typically try to save things so I'm not typing them over and again when I'm testing. So just, there's a lot of ways to do it. Okay, so we get a draft mode. Hey, I'll take it. Wow, so nice, so nice. Just, I don't know, like I used to build this stuff and it's just torture to watch how nice this is. Okay, so then we go to jobs. Boom, we got it. Okay, we need a quick search because I don't want to do a ton here. I want to build, measure, learn, get this in front of everybody. And if we can get you to get the jobs in other ways, you might want to use APIs, you want to use other things, and I'd rather focus on that. But I won't even add search. I'm going to back off there. Great, perfect, nice work. All right, so now I want to say, okay, I want to come in and add a very simple, like a threaded conversation reply to that job. And only people who can see them. Let's say it to it, okay. This is perfect. Now, when another person logs in, they can submit a proposal for the job. And it's almost like a threaded conversation at this point. I won't even say that because I don't want to thread it. So basically, people can submit proposals for the job. And then the owner of the job can look at those. And of course, the person who made the proposal can look at those, but no one else can. But we see a count of job proposals underneath the particular job on the job board. And again, I want to keep it simple, little steps, and we can just keep iterating as we go. Like tags aren't there yet. We'll come back to that. All right, let's see how this is going. It said, okay, we did all this, and then job proposals, apply changes, and it has an error, but I'm going to wait until those changes are done. You can try reading all that. I wouldn't bother. Just once this particular step is done, we can fix that. I've said this before in other videos, when you have an error, it sometimes can trigger 2 errors or 3 or 4, and you want to focus on one error, the first one to happen. So let's just see what happens. By the way, we're looking at this kind of idea. Here's the UI, here's Supabase. We'll put some automations back here as well, N8N or active pieces. We'll talk about more of that later, or other services. So we have our UI, we'll have our users, our profile, our job posts, our offerings, and our feedback mechanism. In this way, people aren't hogging up jobs or doing crappy work. And we'll have throttle, so when someone first signs, they can maybe only grab a job. I don't know, I gotta figure this stuff out and we'll take feedback. But that's about it. That's how simple we're aiming for right now. And then you can hook up your systems to webhooks or APIs. That's the nice part. It's your data, like our data. Just go use it and then let's benefit from that. And we might push data into it from other places, but we won't steal it. We're going to say, hey, if you want this, go here and look. But we're trying to say we're going to bring it here and show it in our search, but you can't reply to it here. We're going to push you back to their site. But just anything we can do to make this a hub that we can all go to and aggregate, and then use to our advantage to look for jobs, reply to jobs, and maybe one day agents are doing the jobs for us. That part I'm trying to figure out how to job type. And this sounds creepy, but is it a human job? Is it an agent job? In some of these might be, who knows, design. Like this isn't all dev, so I don't know. Let's see what happens there. How we doing? Blah, blah, blah. Great. I want to fix this though now. And it's probably going to start wanting to refactor, just let it. And let's see. Yeah, TypeScript. It's interesting. I see a lot of TypeScript errors, and it's okay. It's helping to maintain structure or whatever with the application, but it can be interesting to watch the complexity it creates. But I think it's okay because it builds the, what's it called? Basically, the application has a certain amount of testing that goes on just by building it. And there goes the laundry for the 100th time. All right, how long is this getting? Almost 30 minutes. All right, another build error. Let's try this one error, fix it, and then if it works, great. And then we'll add a reply, and then we'll stop there, and then I'll come back. I just want to not lose my video like I've done so many times in the past. All right, looks like we're hitting that moment in time where things stop working. It's magic until it's not. And recovering from that can be frustrating. We'll see what happens. We'll give it another try, and then we'll just have to keep giving it more tries. I guess you could throw windsurf at it, but I want to try and stick in Lovable. I've seen some pretty nice things built here, so I know we can do it. All right, so we're here. I'm going to go try the next thing. Jobs. Loading job details. It's a bad request. Okay, so basically it's probably a row level security as well. Okay, I just noticed that. Okay. So, I'm not sure how much this is going to help. Like I said, it's most likely the top error. And it might even know it has it. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm just going to click try to fix. I'm going to see what happens. I wonder what that wrench does. This is typically where I start 2 other projects while I'm waiting and then get really distracted. Still stuck. Not much magic. I forgot about this button, so it said, hey, refactor. So I'm going to have it refactor and just see what happens. I see a lot of people build stuff online, and a lot of the stuff is just fun little things, games, one-off web things. Obviously, it crushed it on the web page. But yeah, sometimes this stuff you just get stuck, and it's only getting better, so it's worth doing and worth trying and then worth working through it, and then eventually taking it down to your machine if you're at that level. It just really depends on what you're trying to build. I've built some silly stuff that I try to make money on, so I know it can do things. I'm going to click it again. Job details. Okay, so that's job proposal, so it's not really again. And let it keep trimming it down. Eventually, we'll get to the error. So I'm going to pause again because it's boring, but I just want to reflect on you're seeing the less magic and then how to work through it. But also, I don't know, it's still pretty amazing that you can build what you can build. All right, last try here. So I clicked refactor a ton. I would like to click this one too, but it says it's done it. So does it work? Let's go here and see if it loads. And if it doesn't load, we'll come back later. So I'm going to, geesh, that's a bummer. I'm going to reload and I'm going to go in the database for a moment. And this is the stuff one day we won't have to do. But if I click on that, let's log back in. Can't wait till we never have to worry about this stuff. And then we want to see job postings, and then we click on it. It's a pretty easy concept, so I'm sure it will get it. But you can see here it's already not. And so I'm going to go look now out of curiosity. I'm going to go to the table, job postings, and then we see there's a user ID, and then we see that when I click on that, it will go to my user. So we do know that it is there. That's a bummer. All right, I know we'll get there. And that was a lot of refactoring for it to still not be able to do something so silly stupid. So let's see, I'm gonna mention to it. Okay, one more try, because this is what happens. I say one more try and then I sit here another 5 hours. Okay, one more try and then I really have to go. It gave me this big suggestion. I had to tell it something, so let's see if it pays off. Oops, sorry. I might have filled up my whatever. So I said, hey, is it row level security? It's okay, I'll give this a try. It's just gonna update a bunch of things there. And you can read through that. It's nice how they do this, like easy to understand concept. And it's basically user can delete their proposals, your table and your action, and then your user ID, and then the user ID of the proposal. So it's pretty readable. So if you ever want to go just look through this, you can understand it. That's going on. I was updating the dark mode here, and just so you can see, even the simple stuff is hard. Yeah, it worked. Like, that took a while, and that's okay. I'm just saying, don't get frustrated. Sometimes you see stuff on the web and it looks so easy, but in this case, I opened up this area here and I was able to then do a hard reload or hard empty cache, so you can just force some things. But yeah, just a heads up there. All right, one more. I really gotta go. That's a couple of times. It seems like they failed. Bummer. Maybe we'll get it this time. Yeah, cool. Look at that. It did a good job. That's really neat. Oh. All right, let's see what happens. It seems confident. Yeah, it's never confident in wrong. You should not know your password. Nope. I'm going to go here just in case there's some kind of difference, and I don't think there is. There could be. I'm not 100% sure. Same thing. So we'll have to come back to this person. It's cool we got this far this quick. This one thing is not that hard. I'm surprised it's having so much trouble. And I'm trying to play by the rules. So I'll come back to see why this is not working in the next video.